Chris Krebs was director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency during the first Trump administration. And Sam Vinograd, a former counterterrorism official at the Department of Homeland Security during the Biden administration. It's good to have you both here.
Good to be here.
We've heard so much in the past year about AI, artificial intelligence, in virtually every sector of the business world, in national security. You've said AI, it's not just an app on your phone. It's not just a computer chip. It's energy. It's data centers. There are some really complex, challenges here. What are you looking at in the year ahead?
Well, starting exactly there, just the diversity of sectors that are impacted by AI. It is a incredibly complex global value chain. It's chips. We've heard a lot about the NVIDIA H200 chips and then competing against Huawei and China. It is software.
To China,
right?
In the debate.
Right, and there's a significant tension in the national security space on should we give China chips or should we deprive them of chips? Mm-hmm. And it seems for now that the side that wants to give China chips and then extract value and revenue from it, that team has won for now. But broader than that, there's software, there's infrastructure, there's data centers, there's water, there's thermal management, there is training, there's workforce. So it is not just about the app that manifests on your phone. It's the entirety of the economy.
Because it's reshaping so many sectors of
It's reshaping the way virtually every business operates. If you go talk to CEOs, they're talking about how they can be an AI-first company. Are they happy with the results that they're seeing right now? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. But they know 2 years, we're going to face this equivalent of a Cambrian explosion of AI capabilities across the economy.
And Margaret, if I can just add, it's not just reshaping how businesses operate, it's also reshaping how governments operate. Mm-hmm. If you look at AI, nothing is zero-sum in national security. It's not a net positive or a net negative. AI, and I've seen this firsthand, is changing the way that investigations are performed. It allows law enforcement officials to comb through so much data and to do investigations more efficiently. It is allowing the U.S. military to use certain autonomous vehicles and weapons that can reduce civilian risk if managed appropriately and more effectively engage in warfighting. It's changing the way the intelligence community is able to both collect and review data. At the same time, it is opening up a whole new host of threats. AI doesn't just level the playing field for certain actors. It actually brings new players onto the pitch because individuals, non-state actors have access to relatively low-cost technology that makes different kinds of threats more credible and more effective.
You said something that was a little frightening to me. You said as technology gets more advanced, the ability to anonymously hurt people exponentially increases. What does that mean on the Homeland Security front?
AI gives actors, not just in the homeland, but literally all around the world, to very credibly pretend to be somebody else. It is upending the whole notion of what identity is in today's day and age. AI is allowing bad actors to very authentically and credibly pretend to be someone else, both with their voices, with their faces, and then to deliver threats in a way that actually resonates. So it's impersonating someone, but then also using AI to figure out where vulnerabilities are in a system and what a target audience or a target entity is going to respond to.
So I want both of you to weigh in on this, but Chris, we heard just last month the first documented case of a fully automated cyber attack by a foreign government. This was the AI chatbot Claude. They said the suspected Chinese hackers had used their AI to breach about 30 global organizations, just to do it really quickly and efficiently, as I understand it. So whose job is it to protect against it? Is it the government's job, or is it a private corporation to figure out how to protect against all these risks you laid out?
Well, I think there are two things in play right now. One is, what's the regulatory environment look like that requires the safe use of these platforms? And we've seen a pullback on the regulatory front from this administration. The Biden administration had an AI executive order that required certain notifications and safety testings. That's been pulled back. Instead, we're in this innovation first model. And
that was light touch. This is no touch, you're saying.
This is, yes. Again, this is really putting the full weight of the government behind the U.S. technology industry winning the global AI race. That is the top priority. And so what's happening in the meantime is you'd normally say, okay, the states are going to regulate. But now you have the White House weighing in saying states cannot regulate in the AI space. And again, CEOs want some guidance. They want governance, so they have to do it themselves.
So switching gears for a moment here, we're looking at 2026, a huge number of mass gatherings in the United States. You've got FIFA World Cup, the Super Bowl, the nation's 250th anniversary. Are you concerned about Homeland Security in the new year?
There are always a lot of threats facing the homeland. What is materially different in the coming year, in 2026, is that there are structural issues that I fear make us more vulnerable to successful attack. That includes the fact that the United States, probably for the first time in our history, is no longer viewed globally as the leader and poster child for rules-based international order. Other actors feel like they don't have to follow the rules if we're not going to. That could introduce new threats. At the same time, there has been a degradation in the systems of government that do identify threats and then work to prevent them, not just today, but over the medium and longer term.
We're going to take a quick break here, come back on the other side of it. More things to worry about in the new year in just a minute. Stay with us. And we're back with Samantha Vinograd and Chris Krebs, both are CBS contributors. Sam, you worked in Homeland Security under the Biden administration, and we heard at that time that the administration was just hamstrung unless Congress did something on the immigration front. This administration is taking a completely different approach. I mean, let's just look at what they did this year. Mass deportation campaign, significant changes to legal immigration. Border crossings are now at the lowest level in decades, secured major funding for ICE and CBP, 500,000 arrests conducted. They repealed protected status for many immigrants, and now there's a travel ban or restrictions on about 39 countries total. What is the longer-term impact of these kind of really massive changes?
Well, to be clear, the Biden administration did take action in July of 2024 to try to curtail unlawful immigration. December 2023, we saw almost 250,000 individuals unlawfully crossing our border. By January 2025, that was down about 85% before Biden left office as a result of his executive order. We are seeing, and will likely continue to see, a systemic dismemberment of lawful immigration pathways to the United States. And the administration has shared a variety of reasons for that. Failure for refugees, for example, to assimilate into the United States, security concerns, and other matters. But if you just look at the numbers, immigrants today account for over 15% of the U.S. labor force. Millions of people in this country are immigrants. And if we look at the economic impact of removing that talent, removing those people from this country, there will certainly be an economic impact, as well as, I do believe, a technological and innovative impact. As we look at the individuals coming here on student visas, on H-1B visas, and more, they are direct contributors to innovation in this country. And I fear that we risk losing out on that and getting the balance wrong between security, economic growth, and innovation.
But on that point, Chris, what the administration says you can financially sort of arrange for more H-1B visas. These are the highly skilled workers. Are we losing a competitive edge because of these restrictions?
I think this has been in play for several years, in fact, and going back even several administrations. What the Chinese, for instance, have figured out is that if they put their own capital into their Silicon Valley equivalent, they can retain high Chinese talent that has typically gone to the U.S., gone to university in the U.S., and then stayed here because our venture capital space is booming. The Chinese have figured it out. And what we're seeing now, back to the risks piece, is that the Chinese are using their financial resources to pull highly advanced, highly capable engineers out of the U.S. and European workforce, bring them back, and then copy much of the technology that's giving us the edge.
So there is a connection here back to immigration policy changes, too.
Absolutely.
Sam, I want to ask you about another big event that's coming, the midterm races. We have seen a lot of political violence or concern about political violence in months past. The assassination of Charlie Kirk, the murder of a Minnesota lawmaker and her husband. We saw Governor Shapiro's Pennsylvania residence burnt. These are just some of the high-profile things. There's more that's happened. What do you anticipate? Should we be fearful of a political environment and elections?
Politically motivated violence is probably the threat that keeps me up the most at night, particularly as we look at the year ahead. Undoubtedly, the United States is viewed as one of the largest sources of conflict and homes of conflict in the world today, which is a seismic change if you think about it. Heading into the midterms, and of course, looking ahead to the presidential, we have already seen terrorism becoming a tool of choice in the homeland to settle both personal grievances and political vendettas. The reasons for that are, of course, enhanced rhetoric, but also, frankly, enhanced access to like-minded individuals, enhanced access to tactics and techniques online, the ability to find out where your target is going to be and when, and more. The rhetoric needs to be calmed down, but there also needs to be the right investments in critical infrastructure protection and in appropriately identifying foreign influence to try to stoke up political violence and other threats.
And there have been actual cutbacks in the things you just laid out as necessary tools in terms of the FBI, their task force on foreign influence operations. Chris, the agency you used to work for, CISA, it's seen not just budget cuts, but just open jobs here. Right. What is going on? Why not build up protection going into an environment like this?
It's just not a priority right now for this administration. I think they believe that there were missteps in the past on what the Biden administration, even the first Trump administration did on identifying and countering information operations, particularly as they relate to elections. But we know that these threats are real. We know these risks are real. And we also know that they're multiplying. Sam talked earlier about the exponential explosion of capabilities in the hands of bad actors and the explosion of bad actors themselves because of tools like AI. When I think about the 26 midterms, we are going to be 2 to 3 generations beyond what the current AI model capabilities are. So they're only going to be more sophisticated, more advanced, more capabilities in the hands of those foreign and domestic that want to disrupt our ability to choose who represents us in Congress.
Thank you very much, both, for sharing your expertise with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.